This might not be the fastest computer I've ever used, but it's definitely the heaviest. It weighs over 20 pounds. And this is an iMac 2009. The reason it's so heavy, what you're looking at is an entire PC built into a display. Full aluminum body, solid frame. This thing was built like a tank. Back then, it cost over $1,000. Yeah, and it was considered a powerful machine, especially for designers. But now, modern software demands way more performance, and most of these are basically useless. So today, I'm going to see just how far I can push this old iMac, and whether it still has anything left to offer. This iMac was released back in 2009, which means it's been around for 17 years. And honestly, I'm a bit surprised. The condition, it's actually still pretty decent. Not exactly pristine, you can definitely see signs of age, but overall, it's still intact. What I love most about this machine is the design. The entire body is made of aluminum. You can feel how solid it is the moment you touch it. Very minimal, very Apple, and very heavy. So I put it on a scale, and the exact weight is 23.2 pounds. That's honestly ridiculous. Luckily, the label under the stand is still there. From that, we can get a good idea of the original specs. But before we go any further, let's try powering it on. The machine powers on, the fan spins, but it gets stuck on the Apple logo. I waited almost an hour, and still nothing. Clearly something's wrong, so time to open it up and take a look inside. From the outside, it looked pretty decent. But on the inside, you can definitely see the signs of age, a bit of rust here and there. Still, it powers on, which means it's not dead, just struggling somewhere in the boot process. And there it is, I found the main issue. This iMac is still running a 640GB HDD, and on a 17-year-old system, that's basically the biggest bottleneck. As for the RAM, there's only a single 4GB DDR 3-stick, which is far from enough today. So from the beginning, I already had a clear plan. I'm not going to mess too deep with the internal hardware, because with iMacs like this, instead I'll focus on two simple but effective upgrades: storage and RAM. First, storage. I'm swapping in a 500GB SATA SSD pre-installed with Windows 10 in legacy mode. This system is way too old for GPT, so legacy is the way to go. Next, RAM. I'm adding another 4GB stick, bringing it up to 8GB total, and more importantly, running in dual channel. Put everything back together, and let's power it on. Thank God. This time, it works. The system boots straight into Windows 10. First thing I do, a quick check with CPU-Z, and here's what we're working with. CPU, Core 2, Duo EE 8335, 2 cores, 2 threads. Honestly, for this platform, it's still pretty capable. For basic tasks and even some lighter games, it runs just fine. There's no real feeling of being too slow. Now, sure, I could upgrade to something like the Core 2 Extreme X 9100, which is technically the most powerful CPU for this socket. But in reality, the performance difference isn't big enough to create a noticeable improvement in everyday use. Meanwhile, you're dealing with higher temperatures, more power consumption, and of course, extra cost. So with what I have right now, the EE8335 is already good enough, and upgrading further at this point, honestly, it's just not worth it. Motherboard, Apple of course. RAM, 8GB DDR3, running in dual channel, and the GPU, NVIDIA GT 120. Clearly, this is a very limited setup by today's standards, but at least it's alive. And more importantly, we can finally test its real-world performance, starting with the CPU. I run a quick benchmark in CPU-Z. Single core, 103 points. Multi-core, 206 points. Yeah, pretty low. Just enough for basic tasks like web browsing or light video playback. Next, the GPU. I'm using Unigine Heaven Benchmark, a pretty standard graphics test. And the result, average FPS, 11.7 score, 296. And just as expected, the GT 120 is basically at its limit. It's only suitable for very light graphics work or older games. But there's one thing about this machine that really impressed me: the display. This iMac comes with a 16:10 panel, running at 1920 by 1200 resolution, and for a 17-year-old device, it still looks surprisingly good, sharp enough, colors are still pleasant, and overall, it still feels kind of premium. Let's start with some basic tests. I tried browsing the web on Chrome, and it's actually fine. Still handles it decently. Then I moved on to YouTube, and yeah, it starts to feel a bit slow. Once I go full screen and push it to 1080p, you can really see it struggling. But honestly, for a 17-year-old machine, the fact that it still works at all is already impressive. Still, I'm not going to stop at basic usage. I want to push it further. Let's try gaming. Can a 17-year-old system handle modern games? Let's find out. First up, Minecraft. Since this system isn't very powerful, I'm setting everything to the lowest graphics with fast quality for all tests. At 2 chunks render distance, things actually look pretty good. FPS sits around 70 to 80, sometimes even higher. The experience feels smooth and comfortable. Now I increase it to 8 chunks. FPS drops to around 50 to 60. The CPU starts working a bit harder, with a few minor frame drops here and there, but overall, still very playable. Now let's push it to the limit. 32 chunks. And yeah, the CPU instantly hits 100% usage. At this point, the experience becomes pretty rough. Frequent frame drops, unstable FPS jumping all over the place, from just a few frames up to around 30. This ancient setup is clearly hitting its limit. Now let's switch to something more interesting: Hollow Knight, Silksong. At first glance, the art style looks simple, but in reality, it's quite heavy on effects. This time, the GPU is maxed out at 100%, while the CPU is only around 30%. And the result? A stable 15 FPS. Yeah, 15. Technically, it runs, but in practice, it's not a great experience. Input feels delayed, and it's just not smooth enough for serious gameplay. Alright, now I want to try something a bit more demanding. Better graphics, faster pace. Let's see how this ancient iMac handles it. And Counter-Strike 2 seems like the perfect candidate. Wait, something's not right. The game won't even launch. Error message: CPU does not support SE 4.2. So yeah, this CPU is simply too old to run one of my favorite games. Alright, let's switch things up. I'll try Left 4 Dead 2 instead. At low settings, running at 1920 by 1200. The game is playable, but not exactly smooth. FPS sits around 30 to 40, and even though this is an older game with relatively simple graphics, on a system this old, that's honestly about as good as it gets. After all these tests on Windows 10, it's pretty clear this 2009 iMac is no longer suitable for gaming the traditional way. The performance is weak, compatibility is limited, and it's basically been left behind by modern games. But that doesn't mean it's useless. The real problem is, we're using it the wrong way. Instead of forcing it to be a gaming PC, why not turn it into something that actually fits its capabilities? And that's when I decided to turn this iMac into a gaming console. Batocera. The Batocera setup process is the same as always. If you want a more detailed guide, you can check out my previous videos. So I won't go too deep into the installation this time. And honestly, I got pretty lucky. The system booted without any issues, which is impressive considering how old this hardware is and how heavily Apple customized it. The iMac booted straight into Batocera. The interface feels smooth, really nice. Of course, to get the full console experience, we need a controller. I've got my usual one right here. And luckily, this iMac has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so I can connect the controller wirelessly without any hassle. Alright, everything's ready. Let's start gaming. First, some classic Nintendo titles. Those iconic pixel graphics. Everything runs smoothly, controls feel responsive, no issues at all. Next, I move up to more demanding systems like Nintendo 64 and even Nintendo 3DS. And surprisingly, everything still runs well. No major problems here. Moving on to PlayStation 1. Everything is still smooth, nothing to complain about. Then we jump to the Dreamcast. Graphics look noticeably better. At this point, there are a few minor stutters here and there, and this is where you can feel it. This iMac is starting to reach its limits. If we push further like PS2 or PS3, the experience just won't hold up. After everything, it's clear that this 17-year-old iMac is no longer suited for modern use. It's slow, it's outdated, and heavily limited by its hardware, but when used the right way, it still has value. With Batacera, it becomes a simple, stable, and surprisingly fun retro gaming machine. And maybe that's the right way to use hardware like this. Instead of forcing it to do things it can't, we just find what it's good at and use it differently. So what about you? What would you do with your old machine? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.